Hello, I would like to introduce the book Disneyland by Richard Snow. A well-written story is like a happy family dinner table. Conversation rolls on regardless of anyone's intentions, and eventually it is wrapped in a smile. The life of a person who has achieved an unprecedented feat may be similarly guided not only by his or her own efforts, but by something else as well. This is how I felt when I read this book about Disneyland, a rare amusement park in the world. I remember feeling the same way when I read Steve Jobs' book. It's as if connecting the dots of seemingly disorganized choices completes a nice picture at the end. I feel like my generation has been educated to strive in a linear fashion toward our dreams, but maybe it is justified to follow some force to create a ton of value. It is the old-time successes who nip the next generation's great success in the bud. It is significant to know who and what criticism Walt faced at the time. While there were many such critics, there were others who shared the dream with Walt. Roy, Kimball, Price, Sklar, Burns, Wood, Gurr, Hench, Goff. Many personalities are moving as if possessed by something in the launch of Disneyland, a project of unprecedented scale. It is a world guided not by self or others, but by the altruism that lies beyond. They shared Walt's image and gave it shape. The process is truly Disney Imagineering that continues to this day. Many of them experienced the Lily Bell of the Carrollwood Pacific Railroad, which Walt laid out in their yard. I was caught in ecstatic thoughts many times as I read this book, thinking of what dwells in the hearts of these dedicated men and women. But the business world is not an easy one. At the time, the amusement park industry in the U.S. was in typical decline, with facilities such as Coney Island becoming outdated. Many experts looked at Walt coldly as he dared to invest a huge sum of money in the industry. Walt, who had seen great potential in television despite his success in the film industry, sat down to negotiate with television networks for investment. The TV stations wanted to broadcast Walt's content, but the condition of investment in an amusement park became a bottleneck and negotiations broke down one after another. However, there was one station that reacted differently. This was ABC, which at the time was on the precipice of financial ruin. They clung to Walt's offer. In return for their investment in the park, they were to receive the broadcast of the show and all the profits from the park's food outlets. This later generated a huge profit. Dateline Disneyland, which aired live on ABC at the park's opening, was equivalent to a 54.2% rating, which was higher than the rating for the moon landing. This is a monumental program that should not be forgotten when discussing the history of Disney. The behind-the-scenes details of the broadcast are also recounted in detail in this book. It was not a well-prepared opening, but there was tremendous energy and enthusiasm. Just reading this opening day documentary is a joy. Guests were over capacity, lines for rides were endless, children squealed in the sweltering heat, and trash littered the aisles. Reporters who did not receive adequate hospitality spread notoriety across the United States. Public criticism and ridicule, repeated setbacks, and dwindling funds. I have been in the declining industry for many years, and I have heard enough of the mere and mediocre advice of the consultants to make me sick to my ears. It is easy to imagine how many of them shouted with glee in response to this opening nightmare. The public, however, reacted in a completely different way. No matter how much bad publicity was spread, the children were excited with anticipation and tugged at their parents' sleeves. It took a lot of time to improve the service, but one by one, improvements were made, and even today, the line of guests continues to be unfinished. If you want to know the secret of this enthusiasm, please read this book. The idea of an entirely new theme park was born in Walt's mind, and he bought a site in Anaheim. To raise funds, a blueprint was drawn up. A model of the attraction was made, and the land was built based on it. The training of personnel, TV programs, and post-opening placings. In the process, talents like stars are gathered one after another. Guided by a force that is difficult to describe in words, a dreamland to which huge sums of money and the dedication of many people have been devoted. I am sure I am not the only one who is thrilled to read this magnificent nonfiction book. If we want to change the world, we need to overturn the common sense in front of us. I am sick and tired of the ramblings of mediocre consultants who are fed up with the conventional wisdom. The names of Walt and his colleagues who worked with him over the years are still displayed in the windows of Disneyland's Main Street. The only name missing, however, is that of C.V. Wood, who parted company with Walt because of money. He criticized Walt, saying, Walt didn't understand anything about theme parks and started a consultancy to build amusement parks, which was not a great success. I hope this content is helpful to you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.